स्वविषया संप्रयोगे चित्तस्वरूपानुकार इवेन्द्रियाणां pratyahara. When the mind is withdrawn from sense objects, the sense organs also withdraw themselves from the respective objects and thus are said to imitate the mind. This is known as pratyahara. Namaskara, myself Dr. Padmavati from Dhatri Chikitsalaya, and welcome to day 17 of Jnanaamruta podcast series. Today, we are living in the most stimulated age in the human history, like screens, notifications, noise. These are the constant inputs to our mind, and ancient tradition looked at this very problem and called it as vikshipta chitta, that is, a scattered, restless mind. The fifth limb of Patanjali Ashtanga Yoga, it offers a remedy, is called pratyahara. It is the deliberate withdrawal of the senses from their objects. Today, on the auspicious occasion of Adhika Masa, let us explore why this practice may be more relevant now than ever. So, coming to today's topic, pratyahara. From the Sanskrit nirukti, the origin of the word prati plus ahara. Prati means against or withdraw, and ahara means food. That is, literally, we are withdrawing what is being gathered by the senses. Here, as from the Patanjali Yoga Sutras chanted in the beginning, when the senses cease to follow their objects and imitate the mind's stillness, this is pratyahara. As we know, Patanjali Muni, he places pratyahara as the fifth of 8 limbs. It is the bridge between the outer limbs, that is the yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, and the inner limbs, dharana, dhyana, samadhi, between the body and the mind, between the annamaya, pranamaya, and the manomaya kosha. Without sensory withdrawal, concentration is impossible, as the mind is constantly pulled outside. Is it no? Here, the metaphor of a tortoise is being given. Just as the tortoise withdraws its limbs into its shell, so the practitioner should also withdraw awareness from the sense objects. The senses don't go numb. Yes, they become obedient to the will. And here in this Adhika Masa, it is very much powerful for the individual sadhana, and this cosmic pause invites us to fast not from the food but from excessive sensory indulgence, an ideal context for pratyahara. And coming to Ayurveda perspective, Ayurveda teaches that health begins with the right use of the senses, that is the indriyas, sense organs. There are 3 conditions: ati yoga, ayoga, mithya yoga. There are 3 states of sensory engagement. Ati yoga is the over usage of the senses, excessive screen time, loud music, overstimulation. These all depletes ojas and disturbs vata. And the second condition is ayoga, that is the underuse or the suppression, where the sensory deprivation without mindfulness, this all leads to dullness, depression, and the kapha stagnation. And coming to the last one, mithya yoga, that is the wrong usage, where consuming harmful content, violent media, where it is creating prajnaparada, knowingly doing the unlawful acts, the primary cause of the disease. So here the pratyahara in Ayurveda is the middle path, that is the Satmi Indriyartha Samyoga. Satmya, which is right and wholesome, Indriyartha Samyoga, we are engaging our senses in a right way. So during Adhika Masa, Ayurveda recommends Langhana, as you know, lighting, like fasting, reducing the sensory inputs, simple food, and the silence. Here, the Rasayana therapy also teaches that conserving ojas through the sensory restraint, that is, slowing down or conserving the energy with this sensory restraint, it builds immunity, longevity, and mental clarity. So, in yoga, how do we practice? There is no single technique. It is more than a state to be cultivated through multiple approaches. So let us understand which are the various techniques to practice this pratyahara. Like one is the Shanmukhi Mudra, where we are closing all the 6 gates, eyes, nose, ears, mouth, with the fingers, where it is a direct physiological withdrawal of the senses. And another practice is Yoga Nidra. We are rotating the awareness through the body systematically, detaching the consciousness from the sensory channels. And the third practice is Trataka or gazing. Here we are fixing our attention on one point where the other senses naturally quieten them. And the another practice, Antara Mauna, the inner silence. Here the progressive withdrawal of speech and then the inner comment. And also Ahara Niyama, like fasting, digital detox, silence, that is Mauna, and nature immersion through Adhika Masa. This all amplifies Pratyahara. So the key principle is Pratyahara is not suppressing ourselves from the sensory objects. It is a conscious redirection. As you understood, the tortoise doesn't fight the outside world. Yes, is it true? When you touch, it withdraws its limbs inside the shell. So it is not fighting with the outside world, it simply ceases to engage. Okay, so this principle has to be understood rightly. And coming to the modern science, here there will be a default mode network, and when we withdraw from the external stimuli, the DMN, that is default mode network in the brain, it activates. So by this activation, it is enabling self-referral thought, creativity, and emotional integration. So Pratyahara may intentionally activate restorative default mode network states. And the brain filters incoming sensory signals via thalamic gating. And while doing this Pratyahara and meditation, it enhances this filter, that is, reducing the neural noise and improving the signal to noise ratio in cognition. So cognition, it improves. And coming to the nervous system, sustained sensory overload, it elevates cortisol and it keeps the sympathetic nervous system active. And withdrawing the silence, it activates the peripheral nervous system and thereby lowering the cortisol and promoting neuroplasticity. And research on sensory deprivation tanks, that is the flotation therapy and meditation, it shows significant reduction in anxiety. As we know, if we perform this pratyahara or the silence, there will be reduction in our anxiety levels, improved working memory, and heightened introspection, where the clarity, silence, and the readiness is acquired for the next stage, that is meditation. So we can take this pratyahara as simple as the daily hygiene of the mind. Just as we clean our body through various aspects like washing the body, the senses needs a daily reset. So today's practice during Adhika Masa, let us practice 20 minutes of intentional silence. No screen, no talking, just breathing and inward attention. Notice what the mind does when the senses are quiet. Yes, the mind, how it will be. Just observe that when the mind senses are very quiet. That noticing itself is the beginning of pratyahara. As Swami Shivananda says, when you can withdraw the senses at will, you have mastered the outer world. See you tomorrow. Until then, Hari Om.